And honestly, I never thought this would happen to me, but yes, I got kicked out of A&T. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joy, and today we're filming a mukbang. This is the first one I've ever done on my channel, so I'm kind of excited. Also, my food getting cold, so let me pray. Amen. Okay, because I don't like no cold fries. And they're cold. So, I've never done this before, so I want to, excuse me if I don't do it right. But basically, I went to McDonald's. It's a McDonald's Mukbang, of course, obviously. So, in today's video, like I said, I'm doing mukbang. I got french fries, a McDouble, and a 10-piece nugget. And I also got a little bit of Propel left and some water. So we're just going to hop right into it, because if not, this is going to be a really long video. I've actually been wanting to film this for... Oh, I also got hot mustard. If y'all don't like hot mustard or never tried it, try it. Erica put me on. This is actually a video I wanted to film for a very long time. And... actually some years at this point, and I just haven't done it. I think because I wanted to be able to have an ending to the story, you know, like this story has been in progress for like years now. And finally, it's coming to some resolution. Let me bite everything first. I ain't ate today. So, if you've been watching, I almost choked on that thing. If you've been watching me for a long time, you know that I am a student at North Carolina Agricultural Technical State University. The #1 HBCU in the nation, always, every day, all day. Okay. And I used to really do college vlogs, college advice videos. I think my most viewed video is about A&T. I think that's really how my following came about, and that's probably why I don't get crazy, not crazy views, but a lot of views anymore, because majority of my audience came from when I was doing a lot of college videos. I came into A&T in fall 2015. You can ask anybody in the world. I love my school. The experience that A&T has given me is irreplaceable. I've met amazing people, like people that I will be friends with forever, probably, honestly. But boy, has it been a journey. It has been a wild journey. And honestly, I never thought this would happen to me, but yes, I got kicked out of A&T. Kicked out. Like, I could not attend the university. Kicked out. This all started I guess you could say when I got there. 2015, I came into A&T as an elementary education student. I always knew that I wanted to work with children. I didn't necessarily know how, but I knew in some form or fashion I wanted to work with children. But in high school, I took a class called Early Childhood Education 1 and 2, where I had to intern in a classroom for 2 years, and I loved it. Like, I loved being around the students every day. I loved watching them learn. So when it was time to choose my major, I said, oh, I'm going to teach elementary education. Boom. That's what it is. Boom. Got to elementary education. I really liked it at first, because, you know, like I said, I love children. And I thought I wanted to teach them. I loved watching them learn the progress that they made throughout the year. Like, it was great. I made lots of friends that year. I came into college in a relationship, and I don't not recommend it, but I do recommend that it be a solid one, because I do believe that took a toll on me as well. My relationship was very toxic, but I can do a whole nother video on that if y'all want, because this is what I haven't incorporated in my channel is relationships, and I love talking about relationships, so please tell me to talk about them. But anyway, my grandmother also passed in November of 2015. We were very, very, I mean, that's my heart right there. So that definitely took an effect on me. But most importantly, I just didn't want it bad enough. Like, my grades weren't terrible. Fall 15. But at the same time, they weren't like, oh my God, Joy, you did so good. And I've never been one to really love school, academics wise. I always like, I was that child that got A's and B's and an occasional C. Never failed a class in my life until I got to college. So yeah. First semester, fall 15 was great, social wise. A little hard emotionally. Academics, it was alright. Move on to spring 15. I didn't care. Like, I will admit to you, I was not focused. I made excuses for myself. I was just, my mind was not there. My mind was just not there. And it showed in my academics. I didn't go to class as much. I did my work, but I didn't do my best work. I was excited about being in school and living my life. That was also coming off of my first holidays with my grandmother. We literally, every holiday we was at her house every year, no matter what. So yeah, my grades were just dropping. I mean, dropping. And I don't know. It wasn't like clicking in my head, like, this is not high school. And I'm not saying that because I know all teachers, like, in public school back home, they'd be like, college isn't like school. You can blah, 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 blah. And I didn't mean like that, because the work was not hard. My discipline was not there. My desire was not there. So I was just playing around, not realizing that they will kick you out, honey. They will kick you out. No remorse, no second thought, okay? They will kick you out. Back then I had an advisor. I feel like your advisor is a big part of your academic success in college as well. I would meet with him, because you have to meet with them to get your classes. And he was just, oh, your grades are bad. Oh, okay, this is what you need to take. Boom, like that. It was annoying. Spring 16. Spring semesters are always worse than my fall semesters. By spring, I'm burnt out. I need a break. I'm over it. I ain't trying to go to class. I ain't trying to do no work. None of that. So, that semester, my grades ended up being, I failed biology. I got a D in math, and then a C, C plus, and a C minus. That's the worst. Like, that's probably the worst combination of grades I've ever had in my life. I just wasn't in it. I had no desire to, no drive to, nothing. So, that semester, my GPA dropped down to a 1.81. 1.81. 1.81, bro. That was my cumulative GPA. So, if you are in college or have been to college, you know that after every semester, you receive an email about your standing academically. And if you met SAP requirements. Yeah. On May 18th, 2016, I received an email that said, "Dear student, this email message serves as an official notification that you have been placed on academic probation as a result of not achieving the minimum academic requirements at the university for the spring 2016 semester. This academic status requires that you accelerate your academic progress to regain good academic standing. At the end of an academic semester, a student will be placed on academic probation if he or she fails to attain a 2.0 or higher cumulative grade point average. Students who fail to meet the academic progression terms agreed upon in the written academic warning will be placed on academic probation." Okay, so I was like, whoa. Little did I not know as well is when you are on academic probation, you do not receive financial aid. So I was bugging out. Like, bugging out. Because who got money to pay for school out of pocket? I don't know. Definitely not me. I didn't even have a job. But I called my dad, and my dad, you know, he's actually an alum of A&T as well. Our stories are actually pretty similar. When it comes to school, he's always like my go-to because he understands a lot. I'm getting full. Okay, so I called my dad. Just worked it out. My schooling was paid for the semester. I got back in the fall. I took fall 16 is a semester to remember. I will never, ever forget fall 16 socially in my life. Like, I had the time of my life in fall 16. Like, fall 16, unforgettable. Every time it pops up in my memories, I'm like, wow, this was a great time. But unfortunately, my advisor at the time, I had a really great advisor at that point, because my one prior left, and my advisor at that time recommended that I take, I think I took 4 classes. Let me make sure. She recommended that I take less classes so that I had less of a workload. So that maybe, yeah, 1, 2, 3. I took 4 classes. So that's 12, 4, 7, 10. I took 12 credit hours. Which is like literally the minimum to take in order to be considered a full-time student. So I had 12 credit hours, and I had world religion, biology again, and then 2 of my education classes. This semester, I got 2 Fs. I failed world religion. That was a very hard class for me. I think it was, it was my fault, but I think it was also my professor that I had. We had really different teaching and learning styles, and they did not correlate, so I didn't understand. And by the time I went to him, when I realized, like, dang, I'm failing, I cannot. It's like that academic probation didn't scare me. Like, Joy, if you don't do right this semester, you won't be in school anymore. It's like, it did not scare me. It did not alert me, like, get your mess together. Like, I remember Bridget telling me, like, Joy, you, like, get your stuff together. Like, get it together. ASAP, get it together. And it just, I don't know. I wish I could, because it's been so long, I wish I could vividly remember, like, what was going through my head. Because if it was me now, I'd be like, bro, are you dumb? Are you freaking serious? At that point, I hated school. I was over it. Am I ever gonna freaking graduate? I failed world religion. I failed one of my education classes. I got a C in biology and a C in another class. My GPA did go up, but it was a 1.96, which is not a 2.0 or higher. So on December 14th, 2016, I received an email and I saw the subject and my heart, like, dropped. I could have, like, my heart dropped. Dear student, you have been placed on academic suspension for not achieving the minimum academic requirements at the university at the end of the fall 2016 semester. This academic status makes you ineligible to continue as a student at North Carolina A&T State University. Consequently, you are suspended from North Carolina A&T State University. Please see the information below for the criteria for academic suspension and for appealing your suspension. Whew. I cried my eyeballs out. I cried and cried and cried and cried. I didn't tell my parents for like a week because I didn't know how to go about the situation. I really had no idea. I just know this is not what they expected for me at all. Like, duh. At all. If I've ever been depressed, it was then. Like, because thank God I'm not one that suffers from depression, but if I've ever been depressed, it was then. I was so sad. Like, I was so sad. I felt so lost. What was I gonna do? How am I gonna tell my parents? This is trash. This is trash. So I typed up a long text message basically begging my parents, like, please don't yell at me, please don't fuss at me, this is what's happening. I've already cried, I've already beat myself up about it. Like, there's nothing you can say to me that is going to make me feel any worse about the situation. I've already punished myself for it. Like, the text message was long. Like, it was long. I don't even want to find it. I don't even want to relive that. I just felt like such a failure. Like, it was, I'll never forget that. And y'all didn't even know. It was videos. Back then I was doing more makeup videos, but I had to leave campus, move back to my mom's house. All of my friends were at school. I was miserable. I didn't have no job. I enrolled into a community college near my mom's house to the plan was to take courses so that they could transfer back to A&T. I didn't care about those courses. Like, my whole thing was trying to get back in school. I was miserable, y'all. I was so miserable. I basically, this is when I met Asia, because I moved in. Asia and Erica so haphazardly became roommates. Maybe we should make a video on how we met, because baby, that's interesting. But they haphazardly became roommates, and I moved in because, like, I was so depressed not being on campus, being at home. My mama works, so majority of the day I was at home by myself. I didn't have a car back then. I was in the house. It was so depressing. Like, I'm on social media, all my friends at school. Like, it was terrible. I felt like the biggest loser ever. So like I said, I basically moved back in with Erica. And it was even harder because people were like, Joy, how's your classes going? Blah, blah, blah. Technically, I did have classes, but not at A&T. I couldn't go to student events because I wasn't a student. My Happy One wasn't, like, active. It was bad. So bad. And I know a lot of students struggle with it. Which is why I wanted to make this video, because I wanted to possibly help someone that's going through it, help someone that has been through it, help someone that's going through it. Because that was probably one of the lowest times of my life, honestly. I felt not good enough. Like, Joy, this is really what you're doing? Like, this is what you're doing? I also started to realize that I don't want to teach. I didn't want to teach, but what else was I gonna do? I've already been in, like, I'm already kicked out of school. There's no need of me changing my major. Come on, please. Why would you do that? So I finally, summer 2017, I went back to A&T. They wrote me a plan of action and allowed me to go back in school for summer session. I don't remember this absolutely correctly, but I want to say that if I didn't meet SAP for the summer session, I would not be able to attend A&T altogether. Like, that was my last straw. If I remember it correctly, that was my last straw. So I took 2 classes. I retook world religion, and I took a humanities class. I busted my tail. Like, I was on campus, living on campus. When I tell you I busted my tail, I busted my tail. I studied. I'm not a studier unless I have to. But I came back and I got A's in both of those classes. My GPA went from a 1.96 to a 2.28. And I went from an F in religion to an A. I have a different professor. I loved him. Like, I don't know if my mind was just more open. He did have different teaching style than my last one, but I was just so committed to coming back. I did come back on academic probation, so I still didn't have any financial aid. So my dad had to pay out of pocket again. Jesus, again. But I got those A's, and y'all, I almost lost my freaking mind because I was officially an A&T student again. And I got back in. I went back to elementary ed, took some more classes. My grades were good. Like, we were meeting SAP, okay, requirements. And then I had to take a test called Praxis that I failed over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I couldn't pass it. I couldn't pass the math part. Math is not my stronghold. I'm not gonna say I couldn't pass it. I just wasn't passing. Like, I was not passing. And I had took so many classes in the elementary ed department that I couldn't take anymore without passing Praxis. The rest of the ones that I had to take had to have a passing result for Praxis, and I couldn't. Like I said, then my advisor, she was amazing. She was like, you know, Joy, you've taken all your classes that you can take. Why don't you just go to liberal studies and, you know, graduate? You'll be out probably next year. I think this was 2017. She said you'd probably be out early. You could even be out early if you needed to. You'd probably be out, and you can come back for get your master's in education. I was like, no, like liberal studies, that's giving up. I know people that go there just because they're ready to get out. It was just such a negative connotation on liberal studies for me. Just based off of what I've heard and what I experienced, I will say now that I was ignorant to that, but that's what I thought. That's what I believed. That's what I heard. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do child development. I'm still children. It looks like that I have more of an opportunity to do more things than just teach with my child development degree. Anyway, because at that point I didn't want to teach anymore, and I realized that. With child development, you could teach. You can be a family life educator. There's lots of things that you can do in the child development department. So I went over to child development and took classes there for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. What's this? Yeah, from about 2018 to 2020. I was supposed to graduate in 2019. All of my friends, majority of the people that I came into A&T with, they're long gone, you know. Graduated in 2019, spring, maybe December. Either way, they graduated. They're moving on with life. They're gone. They're alum. They come back for homecoming, you know, things like that. But other than that, they did it. You know, they're out of there. I'm still here. So this last, I'm trying to speed it up because I don't want this video to be forever. This past semester, like I said, I did child development. I did good. You know, my grades were good. Still in academic good standing. I even made Dean's List. I want to say 2 times. I was doing good. But I went to register for my classes for... My goal was to graduate. Since I couldn't do 2019, my goal was to graduate in 2020. I went to register, and I spoke with my advisor. She told me that it didn't look like I would graduate until spring 2022. I was like flabbergasted. I was like, there's no way. At this point, I'm getting a degree for backup. I've already been introduced to an opportunity that I have to make decent money, especially at my age now, and I'm just taking care of me. Decent money, and all I needed for that was a high school diploma. And I've already gotten into that, did what I need to do for that. So I'm basically getting my degree at this point as backup because I don't necessarily want to use it. There's nothing, at this point in my life, I realize that there's nothing, no degree that I want to use. Like, there's none. I have dreams and goals that I want to reach, and the degree doesn't really help me get to any of them, honestly. So at this point, I'm getting a degree that's backup, something I can fall back on. So me waiting until 2022 to use a degree that I don't even like, oh my God, want so bad. I was over it. I was done. Like, done. I get really sensitive about the topic of school because I feel like I've just had such a hard, long journey when it comes to it. And I was like, yo, I cried again. I just started crying again. I was crying for days. Like, 2022, that's next year. I'm 23. I was supposed to graduate in 2019. You're trying to tell me I have to stay till 2022? No. But I was like, okay, I can't give up. I'm gonna do it. I've done all this curriculum in this major. Let me just finish. And that's just what it is. So I was like, okay, I'll finish. Then my boyfriend's mom is really I tell her all the time, she's really good with like professional development and just, I don't know, she's like really business minded. She was like, why don't you just do liberal arts? She called it liberal studies. Why don't you just do liberal arts? I said, I can't do that. That's bad. She said, who told you that? I said, everybody says that. Everybody just does that when they just giving up and they're done. They don't have nothing else to do. You can't do nothing with a liberal arts degree, blah, blah, blah. She's like, that's not the case. why, she said, you'll get out sooner, I'm sure. Why do you want to stay and fulfill a degree that you don't even want? And I said, I just don't want to give up. Like, I feel like liberal studies is giving up. She told me her cousin works for a pharmaceutical company, and they only hire people in liberal arts, with liberal arts degrees, because they're more well-rounded, they're leaders. So that's the only people that they take. And I said, really? Wow, like, I didn't know that. She sent me articles on articles on articles. She was like, Joy, there's liberal arts schools. I said, you're right. Like, I didn't think of that. It's just always been really a negative connotation. She said, if anything, if you want to, you can go back and get your master's. You can get certifications if you need them. I said, you're right. She said, people are looking for a degree. That's all companies are really looking for, is a degree. You need a degree. She said, I forgot what her degree is in, but she got she worked at IBM for years, and her degree is in, dang, it's nothing to do with IBM technology, IT, nothing. It's nothing to do with it, but she worked for IBM for 20 years, and they just wanted her to have a degree. So I thought long and hard about it. I prayed about it, because I just didn't want to feel like I failed again. Like, I didn't want to give up again. So I read those articles she sent me. I realized, like, wow, I don't know why there's such a negative connotation on liberal studies, liberal arts degrees. I don't know why. Lots of people have them. Lots of people. Lots of successful people have them. Lots of successful people attended liberal arts schools. So I don't know why there was this huge negative connotation placed on it, but there was. And so I thought long, hard, and I prayed about it. And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I have no ties to any degree. There's no degree specifically that I want. There's no degree that I want to use. What I want to do in life has nothing to do with what I want to do. No degree has nothing to do with anything that I want to do in my life. So why am I going to sit here and waste all these years and get a degree that I'm not going to use? So at 23 years old, in 2021, I changed my major to liberal studies, and I graduated in May. I have applied for graduation, and I graduate in May. I have things set up that I will make, like I said, good money after graduation. I could make it right now, honestly. I just have a few more things to do, and I'm set and I'm good. And I'm finally going to be a graduate. So this video, I'm excited, I'm happy. It's surreal right now. Like, I can't believe, wow, I'm finally freaking graduating. Like, my caption on my pictures is gonna be finally. That's all I'm gonna say, finally. Because finally. So yeah, this video is really for anyone that's just going through like me. You kicked out of school, you don't know what you want to do. You really don't want to do school. Chase your dreams, you know, pray, talk to Jesus. Jesus really been coming through this week. I'm trying to tell y'all, he's really been coming through. Do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, you have to live this life. Nobody's living this life for you. They might watch you live it, they might have something to say about it, but at the end of the day, you are living this life. You have to deal with this life and the decisions that you make, the things that you do and the things that you don't do. And I refuse to waste more money, okay, and more time and more stress sitting here doing something that I don't want to do. And I can graduate this semester. I'm graduating in May. It's 2 years later, but I'm doing it, and I have a story to tell for it. I feel like this is very common. My father went through some very similar situation. It's very common, and I just want to help someone because I know I needed help. I was acting like I was okay, but inside I was terrible. Like, it was so bad for me. But I waited so long to record this video because, like I said, I wanted a resolution. I wanted an end product. I wanted a period at the end of this story, because there's so much more that's going to happen, but I wanted a period at the end of this story. I wanted to be able to be like, this happened to me, but I'm graduating and I'm out, and I have plans and they're coming to fruition, and I'm good. You will be too. So that's why I waited so long to record this video. But yes, this is true. I got kicked out of A&T, and my beloved institution. I got kicked out. They kicked me out. I was out of there. But I got back in, and I even hit some more obstacles, but I made it through. So you are looking at I'm still claiming 2019, but like, if it's ever a reunion that I can get to, I'm going to 2019 because that's where all my friends are. But you're looking at a 2021 graduates of the illustrious North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. I'm out of there. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you're notified every single time I post. And have y'all noticed the consistency, honey? There's a new video. Go catch up on the videos, baby. We're being consistent, okay? So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye.